Yeah, yeah. You're gonna come this Saturday, right, Drew? Five. It's in Durham, 5 to 7. No, that's Chapel Hill. We're going to 5 Point in Durham. I'll text you 5, 5 to 7. I'll text you the address. Saturday. Yeah, yeah, Saturday. Day after tomorrow. Anyway, if you can come, it'd be nice. I'll send you the address, and then you can come. It's actually not the exact address, but it's a pizza place that's right next to it. You probably have, but you don't remember. Yeah, it's a nice place. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Ayara Namadhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikatari Satirasata Shishimanas Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Govardhana Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam. We're on Canto 10, Chapter 74, and this is verse number 24. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutaya Krishna Yanaya Darshane Deyam Shantaya Purnaya Datasya Nantyam Icchata Sarva Bhutatma Bhutaya Krishna Yananya Darshane Deyam Shantaya Purnaya Datasya Nantyam Icchata Sarva Bhutatma Bhutaya Krishna Yananya Darshane Deyam Shantaya Purnaya Datasya Nantyam Icchata Sarva Bhutatma Bhutaya Nasnaya Darshane Bhutaya Richata Sarva Bhutatma Bhutaya Krishna Nanyanya Darshane Deyam Shantaya Purnaya Tasya Nantantam Nichata Sarva Bhutatma Bhuta. Thank you. Naya Darshane Namnandaya Bhutaya Dattashyanantamicchata Sarva all Bhuta beings Atma the soul Bhutaya who comprises Krishnaya to Krishna Ananya never as separate Darshane who sees Deyam honor should be given Shantaya to the peaceful Purnaya perfectly complete Datasya of what is given Anantyam unlimited increase Ichata by him who desires. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Anyone who wishes the honor he gives to be reciprocated infinitely should honor Krishna, the perfectly peaceful and perfectly complete soul of all beings, the Supreme Lord, who views nothing as separate from himself. Please repeat. Anyone who wishes the honor he gives to be reciprocated infinitely should honor Krishna. No, it's not working because it's dead battery. Can you get it? That works. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it works. There we go. This other mic is probably no good. You have to charge. No, don't put those in there. They're dead. There's some others charging probably. Okay, now the mic works. Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasai Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Prashachadeshcharni Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this passage from Krishna book highlights what's being said here about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who wishes the honor he gives to be reciprocated. So, if you're going to honor someone in this crowd, it says, who we want to honor, if you want it to be reciprocated infinitely. In other words, when someone's given something, they can reciprocate with you. But the only person who can actually reciprocate with everyone unlimitedly and perfectly is Krishna. So if he's present, why would you honor anyone else? Who is Krishna? He's the perfectly peaceful and perfectly complete soul of all beings. Now, no one else can claim to be that. What is it here? It says here, Shantaya Purnaya. He's perfectly peaceful, perfectly complete. So, and then the next, what is next said is that he's the Supreme Lord who views nothing separate from himself. In other words, he doesn't see this material world as being different from himself. At the same time, he is different. So he's the perfect person in who we should put our hopes in, our honor to, our love for. No one else can actually grant us this sort of reciprocation. I'm going to read just Sanatana Goswami's Tika. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a very short Tika, and Jiva Goswami's is very similar to Sanatana Goswami's, but shorter. Sanatana Goswami writes, as the soul of all beings, he is non-different from the jivas, since they are his amshas. That means his energies, his limbs. Thus he sees all equality, ananya darshane. He sees all equally, Thus he sees all, I know I said. Thus he sees all equally, ananya darshane. And he is always happy, shantaya, because he is full of all powers, purnaya. It's said that in the Isha Upanishad that Prabhupada actually summarizes the word purnasya, purnaya, adaya, that in the spiritual world, 1 + 1 = 1, and 1 - 1 = 1. Krishna is complete. He can keep giving, but he's never less. Or since he has appeared as Krishna to reveal his unlimited powers, all great results will arise from giving datasya to the proper object of worship. Now we can offer worship to someone, Prabhupada describes how in World War II, and this would only happen in India, there was one particular person who was worshiping Hitler because Hitler enabled him, because of the war, to have a good black market business. So it's not like a demon can actually, especially a demon on that level, can even reciprocate, because that demon on that level doesn't even know that person exists. But even if we go to the understanding of some demigod who would know we exist, what can they offer us? They can only offer us some little benediction for the material world after it's been approved of by Krishna. So we should know who to worship. And by worshiping Krishna, then we're watering the root of the tree. Or he should be worshipped first on seeing the philosophical truth. Whoa, what a purport here, Tika. What is the philosophical truth? Krishna's tu Bhagavan. What is it? The first, I actually have, it's one of those days when you just can't remember everything. Here we are. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karnam Karnam. So Krishna is, he's Govinda. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is eternal. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. Ishvara Parama Krishna. What? Satchidananda Vigraha. He's got a body which is Sat Chit Ananda, full of knowledge and bliss and eternity. And Anadir Adir Govinda, it's declared that there is no other cause before him. He's Anadi. And Sarva Karna Karnam. He's the cause, Sarva, of all causes. So we can understand here how Krishna is described here. Philosophically, if we understand the truth. Moreover, by seeing externally, he should be worshipped, since he is most qualified. And now we see the outside, he's the most qualified. I mean, he's able to do anything. He never fails. And even if it appears that he fails, he's actually not failed. Like when he ran away from the battlefield from Jarasandha, and Jarasandha thought, oh, I've won, because he was on top of a mountain, and Jarasandha put a fire around the mountain, and Krishna jumped off, and he thought, oh, I won. But he didn't win because he didn't get Krishna, and Krishna had other plans, and they always work. So we even see from the outside that he is, if you just look at the activities, never fails. There's no one that never fails. You know, even the greatest athlete who hardly ever fails. He can only say hardly ever fails. But still, you know, the greatest quarterback in the world is still going to throw an interception once in a while. And the greatest tennis player is still going to lose a game once in a while. But Krishna, he never loses. And if he does lose, it's because he wants to, because it's for fun. And generally speaking, we see that he loses only in Goloka Vrindavan. That's because it's no fun if you win all the time. So he wants to have fun. But actually, he's always the most qualified because you can see from his activities. He is dearest as Paramatma, Atma Bhutaya. Of course, he rides with us in our heart no matter what body we take. He attracts all hearts by his good qualities, Krishnaya. Krishna is the all-attractive. There are religions who believe in God, and they are and they're monotheistic. But if you ask the person who God is, they can't answer because God is a mystery. To them, you know, God's like a jigsaw puzzle, and you got to put the pieces together. But they don't have all the pieces. So you can't actually ever get the whole picture because all you got is a few pieces from the edge. In the middle, it's all missing. They don't have it. Why? Well, they don't know. And they don't really even have an answer. They just got a box, they got a jigsaw box that didn't have all the pieces, and they can never find out the answer. And unless one has, unless God is a person and has qualities, how can we love him? Now, while preparing for this class, and I'm not going to be able to get to it directly, I was reading the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And in that chapter, at the end, Arjuna is just simply like, he's fried with the whole, he just doesn't want to see this universal form anymore with blazing mouth and big teeth and living entities entering into his mouth and all these fireworks, and it's like pyrotechnics, you know, on the highest level. And he's not interested because he says, I want to see your form again. First the four-arm form, then the two-arm form. And the two-arm form is called Somyavapu. Somyavapu means the peaceful form. And Prabhupada says in the purport there that the devotee is not interested in the great display of opulences that come from the universal form, because you can't love the universal form. You can't hug the universal form. You can't talk to the universal form. You can't kiss the universal form. You can't serve the universe. You can't do anything except look at it. And that's not what bhakti is about. Bhakti is about a relationship we have with the Supreme Lord. So, Krishna has all these qualities. Unless we know what the qualities of God are, we can't have true love. In fact, most of the time, when a person says, I love God, we take this in our Western terms of the religions like Christianity or Islam or Judaism. They love God, and they may actually have some feelings of sort of love for God, because he's the one who arranges everything in their lives to be okay. I love God because God's great. I've got a good kid. He's going to a good university, and Uncle Larry's cancer was cured last year, and it's really God's grace. He's so wonderful. But then sometimes when God doesn't do the right thing, it's like, the guy I had when I was a social worker, who something bad happened. He stood outside his house and started shooting a shotgun in the air, screaming invectives at God because, his wife had left him or something. I can't even remember what his problem was. But, he got just so angry, he wanted to, shoot a gun at God. Maybe he was thinking he could force God to do the right thing, but I don't think that would work. But in any case, we have to have someone to love. Moreover, he is equal to all. He doesn't care. He's a Nanya Darshane. Everybody gets what they what they deserve. The demons get it too. Hiranyakashipu got what he deserved. First, through the agency of Brahma, he got to be the most important person in the universe. Whoa, whoopee. Really nice. And he got to control everybody. And he had a benediction that he, practically speaking, couldn't die. And then he got darshan of the Supreme Lord. Really intimate darshan. Most living entities don't get, that kind of darshan. I mean, you don't want that kind of darshan. But he was touched by the Lord. Well, ripped by the Lord. But the fact is that he got what he wanted. Krishna gave him what he wanted. He gave him everything, and he was very merciful. Or he sees with mercy the devotee with no material desires, ananya. So a devotee has no material desires, then Krishna fulfills him with his mercy. Like, we'll give an example, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had no material desires. He went through his life apparently being a householder with a family, with a business, but he carried with him in his whole life the desire to serve the Supreme Lord, because he grew up in a family where his father was a pure devotee and his mother was a devotee. So these devotee parents instilled in him, of course, he's coming from the spiritual world, but at least ostensibly the devotee parents instilled with him the love of God, and that was crystallized when he came in contact with his guru. And his guru said, very first words, go preach in the West in English. And he held that in his heart. So Prabhupada had only a desire to serve Krishna throughout his life. And when the opportunity came, he engaged in a pure way, with pure intention to give Krishna consciousness. And we have to understand, how did Srila Prabhupada, at an advanced age, come to a foreign land with no money and no really experience of what this foreign land was about? He really didn't know what America was about. The pure devotee knows everything, but Krishna also it's a pastime. So Krishna shows us how he empowers the pure devotee. So Prabhupada comes here, and the movement spreads like wildfire. We have to understand something. if there's any difficulties in, preaching Krishna consciousness, has nothing to do with the message. It has everything to do with the messengers. Prabhupada was a pure messenger. There was nothing could stop him. He was like electric hot, super hot, so hot that it was irresistible. In a nuclear power plant, the biggest danger is a meltdown. That's because if somehow or other the nuclear rods inside aren't kept cold, there's nothing in the world that can hold them. There's no metal, there's no structure, the idea is it could melt down into the center of the earth. It's never happened. Who knows if it would happen? But the idea is nothing can contain it. It's too hot. Nothing could contain Srila Prabhupada's pure devotion. It was so hot with love. That's how everything happened, just like that, a miracle. How would it happen except by someone with pure love like Prabhupada? Or he sees out of affection for his devotees. He is a householder in many palaces. So lots and lots of these devotees, the wives of Krishna, 16,108. What fortunate souls they are. And Krishna, he's actually reciprocating with them out of affection. He's not, a husband who needs a wife because, I'm not complete without my other half. And, that's the way we are in the material world. We're always looking for someone to lean on. But Krishna doesn't need anyone to lean on. He's not needing, but he gives to those devotees who have pure love for him. This is all about purity, all about the purity of love between the devotee and Krishna. Moreover, he's devoid of greed and other faults. You can't find any faults in him. In this list of qualities, the order is with increasing excellence of qualification. And then Bhishma says in the Mahabharata, listen, O Yudhisthira, the preceptor, the sacrificial priest, the relative, the snantaka, I'll tell you what that is in a minute, the friend and the king are the six that deserve argya. That means worship. One should worship first one of these six. The snataka is the brahmachari who's just graduated from the Gurukula, and he's like 25 years old, and he has a choice now either to take sannyas or to become a householder. But he's at this point of he's had perfect training, he's a perfect brahmachari. So it's an exalted position. So now, when I was studying, I thought about verses that support this whole theme of Krishna's perfection and how Krishna is perfect, and how we know, we should understand that by worshiping Krishna, we're worshiping that person who can reciprocate everything with us, and that he can be God, the creator of the universe, the Lord of all beings, the greatest of all, the supermost person, but he also can be that lovable child, the lover, the friend, and the master, like we see in Vrindavan. So, I'm going to read through some of these verses that I compiled. And the first one, of course, is one of the most important verses in the Bhagavad Gita, maybe the most important, some people would say. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. This is 10.8, or as the other day Omkar said, 108. So you can remember this verse. This is verse 108, 10.8. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worshiping with all their hearts. And Prabhupada speaks in the purport. Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born in me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. And now, another verse. These are two verses from the 7th chapter, 6 and 7. Etad yonini bhutani sarvanit yupadharaya aham krishnasya jagata prabhava pralayastata. All created beings have their source in these two natures. That's material and spiritual. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am the origin, both the origin and the dissolution. So this is a very important point. Here's Krishna in the assembly as a person with wonderful qualities and evidence of how great he is in a very tangible way before everyone. And of course, Shishupal is the only one who's just bewildered by everything. I mean, no, he's not the only one. Duryodhana and his brothers are there, so they're like rooting behind Shishupal. But the idea is that here's Krishna right before you, and what is he? He's created everything. But he's there, right there, and we can relate to him. And Krishna, the Supreme, is the cause of both the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in the Katha Upanishad, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. He is the eternal of all us little eternals, Nityo Nityanam, and of all that are sentient, he is the eternal, Chaitanas Chaitana, or he's the origin rather, Chaitanas Chaitananam. And then, of course, verse number 7, which is also a very famous verse, Mata Partaram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Jananjaya Mai Sarvam Idam Protam Sutre Mani Gana Iva. Interesting how Sanskrit is the original language of all the other languages. We have this word sutre, thread. And of course, it's very similar to the word suture, which is what when they're sewing you up, it's called sutures. So anyway, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. And now, if we go to the Svetasvatara Upanishad, it states, I know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions and I know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness, only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to that Supreme Person because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest. He is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree. He illumines the transcendental sky, and as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies, and he's playing as a little child in Mother Yashoda's household courtyard. We sing, in the Damodarastika, we worship that rope, that binds Krishna. In other words, Lord Brahma, he's the source of Lord Brahma, but still that rope can't bind him. And then, two verses from the ninth chapter, 4 and 5. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Yet one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but I am still aloof. And then Prabhupada gives the example of the king. The king, he's a person, but he's got lots of energies, and these energies are pervading throughout the kingdom. And therefore, you see the king's seal and the king's, palace, and you see the king's, army or whatever. And these are the energies of the king. But that king, he has personal relationship. And those who are close to the king can actually be with the king and know who the king really is. And so in our life, we need to meet someone who can take us to the king. just like it's given the example, Prabhupada he gave the example, he would say, if you want to meet the President of the United States, you can't because you don't know him. But if you meet someone who knows the President, he can take you to the President, and then you can meet the President. So the Guru is the person who knows Krishna, and he can take us to meet Krishna. Otherwise, we can't meet Krishna. And it's only by meeting Krishna, ultimately, that we can love him. Otherwise, how can you love something that you don't know? And yet, everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. And then another verse here, 1039, where Krishna says, furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport, everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. So if we see something and we think it's separate from Krishna, that's Maya. Well, it's actually the Maya in our head, because we're seeing what is actually part of Krishna, but we're seeing it as separate because we think we're separate, and therefore everything around us is separate. And we think, well, maybe he's not looking, so I can use material energy, whatever that is right now, for myself. But actually, we cannot use anything for ourselves and actually have any good result. So, with that loud resounding sound of the deities coming, we thank Prabhupada for giving us a chance to understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, so that we can actually develop love for him someday, somewhere, sometime. Hare Krishna.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Bhagom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti
Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jai. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan. Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahaban. Jaya Mahaban. Bolo Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jaya Radhe Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Keshi Gata Bansi Bata Dwadasa Kanan. Keshi Gata Bansi Gata Dwadasa Kanan. Chaha Sab Leela Kailo Shri Nandanandan. Sab Leela Tan Bolo Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jai Radhe Jai Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan. Shri Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan. Shri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vastagan. Shri Damadi Jaya Dhenu Vastagan. Bolo Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari. Jaya Purnamashi Jaya Abhira Nagari. Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jaya Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavana Ma. Jaya 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 Krishna Sakha Bhatu Dvijara. Jaya Raj Bolo Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jaya Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Rama Ghat Jaya Rohini Nandan. Jaya 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 Vrindavan Basi Jata Jan. Jaya Basi Jata Jan. Bolo Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan. Bolo Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. जय द्विजा पत्नी जय नाग कन्या गान जय भक्ति ते जहर पैलो सिरदाचरण भक्ति ते जहर पीलो गोविंदाचरण बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन बोलो जय राधे जय जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद श्री राष्ट्रमंडल जय जय राधा श्याम श्री जय जय राष्ट्रलीला सर्व मनोरम जय रन बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय जय उज्ज्वल रस सर्व रस जय जय उज्ज्वल रस सर्व रस पर किया भावे जहाँ बजते प्रचार भगते प्रचार बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री जानव पद पद्म कोरिया स्मरण श्री जानव दीन कृष्ण दासे कोय नाम संकीर्तन बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन बोलो जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन मदन मोहन श्री ब्रजधाम की जय श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय All glories to Radha, Krishna and the divine forest of Vrindavan. All glories to the three presiding deities of Vrindavan, Shri Govinda, Gopinath and Madan Mohan. All glories to Shyam Kund, Radha Kund, Govardhan Hill and the Yamuna river, Kalandi. All glories to the great forest known as Mahavan. All glories to Keshiga, the Vansiga, Bhatati, and the 12 forest of Braja. All these places the son of Nanda Shri Krishna performed all his pastimes. All glories to the divine father and mother Nanda and Yashoda. All glories to the bird boys headed by Sri Dhama. All glories to the cows and calves of Braja. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother Shmanu and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to the Puranmasi, the mother of Sandipani Muni. All glories to the young cowherd maidens of Braja. All glories to Gaveshwara Shiva, who resides in Vrindavan in order to protect the holy Dham. All glories to Krishna, funny Brahmana, Nandangala. All glories to Ramaghat, where Lord Rasa dance. All glories to Lord Baram Sant Rohini, All glories to all residents of Vrindavan. All glories to the wives of the proud Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of Kaliya serpent. To your devotion they obtained the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to the place where the rasa dance of Shri Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha Sham. All glories to divine rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of Lord Krishna's pastimes. All glories to the mellows of conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas, and is propagated in Raja by Sri Krishna, form of the divine Parkiya Bhav. Remembering the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda's consort, Srimati Devi, this fallen and lowly servant of Krishna, holy name, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai.
Going to 5 Points in Durham from 5 to 7 p.m. And it's going to be hot but sunny, and lots of things happen on Saturday evening in Durham, so please come. Okay. Chaitodarpanam marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreya ramya chandrika vitaranam. Beautiful as always. New jivanam anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipanam purnamrita swadanam sarvadvasnapanam harmijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapita niyamita smaranena kala etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrishami hajjani nanuraga trinadapi sunichena charorapi suhishuna amanina manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budao Kribayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajachim Vachintaya Nayanam Galashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadrudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahaneba Vishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Anastumam Marmahato Karotuva Yatata dava vidadatu lampato mat prananatastusa eva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your cause's devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to be anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Hare Krishna.